Welcome to today's deep dive. We've got a really fascinating one for you today. We are digging into the Upside Down Blessing Lenten Guide and pairing that with the Gospel of Matthew, specifically chapter 6.
Yeah, it's that classic Ash Wednesday text.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to unpack this massive irony sitting right at the center of it. Because liturgically, you walk into church and you get this dark, very visible smudge right on your forehead.
It is a totally public mark.
It is. But then the gospel reading for the exact same day has Jesus explicitly telling you to do your piety in secret.
Right, like when you pray, go into your room and shut the door. It's really a collision of symbols. I mean, you have the visible ashes, but the instruction is to actually be invisible.
Which brings us to the whole upside down blessing concept from the guide. Because the world is essentially a highlight reel economy, right? It tells you to be seen, to be impressive, to curate.
Curate your holiness like a highlight reel.
Yeah.
But Jesus is inviting us to do the exact opposite. He wants you to come close, in secret, with the actual truth.
And honestly, that is terrifying for a lot of us. Because I think we tend to treat repentance like it's spiritual makeup.
Oh, wow. Spiritual makeup. That's a really great way to put it.
Like, we want to style the mess so it looks acceptable before we present it to God. But the text today argues that real repentance is just bringing the unstyled mess into the light of God's mercy.
It shifts the entire location of your faith. The source material uses this fantastic analogy of the marketplace versus the living room.
I loved that part.
It's so good.
Yeah.
When you perform your piety, you are essentially selling an image in the marketplace. Jesus is trying to pull you out of that marketplace and bring you back into the living room of the Father's care, where you literally don't have to sell anything.
Which is why it goes after those three specific holy habits, right?
Yeah.
Giving and praying and fasting. The guide points out how much we love turning those into applause machines.
Applause machines, yes. We take these things meant for connecting with God and retrofit them to extract validation from other people.
But Jesus doesn't cancel the habits. He rescues them. He says, don't do this for the audience, because when you strip away the audience, you are forced to confront why you were actually doing it.
And when the applause dies down and there is no audience left, you're just left with the reality of what you are, which the ashes tell the truth about. You are dust.
Yeah, I am dust, which sounds incredibly grim to a modern ear. We want to be self-sufficient.
It does sound grim until you make the critical distinction the source makes. Admitting you're a dust isn't scary when you remember whose hands are actually touching the dust.
The Creator's hands.
Exactly. The Father sees in secret, which means you don't have to defend yourself or spin yourself. You can just be honest and empty-handed.
And being empty-handed isn't a failure state. It's actually how the kingdom opens up to you, which connects right to the end of the reading where Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Right, because if we are comfortable being dust, we stop trying to build these monuments to ourselves. The guide calls this treasure relocation.
Treasure relocation instead of self-improvement.
Precisely. We treat Lent like a self-improvement project, like, I'm going to fix my bad habits. But this text suggests Lent is a realigning your magnetic north. Your heart acts like a magnet following what you trust.
So if you trust the applause, your heart goes to the crowd.
Yes, and Jesus is gently but firmly turning that magnet. He wants your heart to follow him, to trust him as the treasure, because the applause rots and rusts, but intimacy with the Father doesn't.
So your takeaway for today isn't to feel bad about being dusting. It's to realize you just don't have to spin your image anymore. The Father sees you in secret, and he loves you right there.
Which leaves you with a really provocative question to mull over. If you stopped performing for the applause of others today, would you feel empty? Or would you finally feel free to be known?
That is definitely something to think about.
May you be freed from performative faith and find quiet joy in being known by your Father rather than just seen by the world.